Hi, my name is Sam Johnson and I'm a voice teacher. Today I'm going to be reacting to and analyzing Lewis Capaldi performing Someone You Loved live on Ellen.
I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to save me.
He's from the UK, I think. I'm pretty sure. And you can hear it in his singing accent, and I think it's doing really good things. I'm going under. I tell a lot of people to sing like they're Irish, and so people who are Irish kind of get that advantage from the start. So just like, if you are Irish, really lean into that accent. The first note that he did, he kind of scooped into it, which doesn't bother me too much. I know a lot of people get turned off by that sound, but I think that it's good technically to get used to what it feels like to slide between notes. It's just that I challenge people to do it quickly, really, really fast. That was a little bit of an actual slide, which makes us perceive it as a slide. So it's just something to kind of think about when you're fine-tuning pieces is, do I want that or do I want it to be a little bit faster? You're gonna hear it. I'm going under. People won't really care about it as much if it's really fast.
This all and nothing really got away, you're driving me crazy.
He's doing some interesting stuff with his jaw right now. It's not bothering me yet, but my brain says let's watch out for his jaw in the future and see if it's like a real tense thing. It could be something to do with his vibrato. A lot of people think that you have to move your jaw really fast to get a good vibrato, and that's just not true. Some people can get away with a lot of jaw movement, and sometimes it's really just to get precise harmonics tuned. But this is so low that I don't think it's that. And so while it doesn't sound bad right now, I think he sounds lovely. He's got a wonderful voice. This is a great song. But it just kind of starts setting off those things of, if this is already happening 30 seconds into the song when he's singing really low, is it going to be a problem when he starts belting?
I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold.
I like that he's keeping it smooth, going between the chest voice and the falsetto. How he's not going, I need somebody to heal, and stopping the air. He's going all the way through, I need somebody to heal. But he's way smoother at it than me, so it doesn't sound as much like a yodel. I like that. I think it's nice because we get the continuity of line, even though we get the change in tone, switching between the two registers.
It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. Now the day bleeds into nightfall. Yeah, you're not here to give me for it all. Well, am I God do? Yeah, then you pulled the...
I don't like what I'm about to say, but the closest thing that it reminds me of is someone trying to imitate a turkey. What he's doing with his jaw. It's not my favorite sound. I don't think that he needs that. I think that aesthetically, I would very much prefer if he just relaxed his jaw with that rather than, it does seem like he's trying to get a vibrato out of it. I don't know what else he could be doing with that. That said, it doesn't sound like super pulled right now, so I feel like if he just kind of relaxed the jaw, whatever he's doing with his jaw, it's just not necessary. I don't think it's a lovely color. I think if he wanted to add a little vibrato in, he totally could because his voice is sounding fairly balanced. It's just like tricking out a real vibrato rather than that fake vibrato thing.
I was getting kinda used to being so alone.
I do like how round he makes his love. He doesn't say, someone you loved, someone you loved. It's very which again, I think comes from his regular accent that he's letting influence his singing accent quite a bit.
I'm going under, and this time I feel there's no one to touch.
Yeah, that jaw thing is very distracting.
This all and nothing way of loving got me sleeping without you. Now I need somebody to know, somebody to heal, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you help me escape.
Yeah, I really don't like that. He's doing something, I think, better than he was in the recorded version, the studio version that's on the radio everywhere. I think they introduced, it's got like over 1 billion streams, which is just bonkers. When he's going to the, I guess I kind of like, he's not really pushing into it as much in this version. But a lot of what he's doing right now kind of makes me think that he might have a cold, just with some of how he's doing his consonants. And I don't know, it just sounds a little bit off. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a little bit of a cold. But again, like, he doesn't need to announce that. So if you're sick, don't announce it. You can sing through a head cold and be just fine. When you start coughing a lot, that can cause some big problems. Like, I was coughing from the beginning of November to basically the end of November, and I'm still feeling that effect on my voice. And it's weeks since I've stopped that cough, and it's finally starting to come back. So that can really put you out for a long time. But he's proving you can sing through a little bit of that if he actually has a little bit of a cold. It's just kind of messing with his enunciation a little bit. That said, I don't mind it because I think that it could also be just like the authenticity of his accent that he's letting come in, which shows like very rawness. I'm not sure if he's had much training or anything. It doesn't seem like it because that jaw thing is, I've never heard a single person teach that in my life. I haven't met everyone, but it's weird. It's like that weird. It sounds like all of the good things that happen from his accent are being helped in his singing, like they're helping his singing out. So it does sound authentic like him, where I wouldn't be surprised if he just spoke the same way in his regular day-to-day life and he's just doing kind of innate talent, if that's a thing, which is totally arguable if that's a thing that people have, but it probably is a thing that people have. And also just trusting his intuition with it, which could be part of that talent, is if you have really good intuition, like, who cares how you developed it? That's what people refer to as talent.
Now the day bleeds into nightfall.
Yeah, that's really distracting.
To kill me for it all. Either you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being so alone.
I'm really struggling to get past that, and that's the biggest problem with it, is I like his voice a lot, and I really love this song every time that I've heard it. Every time I've worked on it with students, I think it's a great song. His voice is gorgeous, and then he does this weird thing on it that sounds like a turkey to me, and it just completely throws me out of the phrase, and so I can't really focus on all of the good things that he's doing because of that. And maybe that's just me, but I doubt it. His vowels are beautiful, though. Like, everything leading up to the weird vibrato that he's doing is gorgeous. He's good at getting a nice open space. It doesn't sound like it's super nasal, and yet it doesn't sound like it's pushed, which, you know, that's a very good sound. That's what we kind of aspire to get with people. And a lot of times I use nasality in order to get the weight off the voice so that people can get to these higher notes without just straight up yelling it. And we're about to get to the part where he does like the closest to a straight up yell as he does. But it's interesting, like, his voice, other than the little wobble, sounds so much more together, in my opinion, than it does on the recording. The recording is awesome, but it sounds volatile. Like, it sounds like he probably had to get a bunch of different takes to get exactly what it sounds like on the recording, just because it's so much closer to like yell coordination than with this, what sounds like really good singing coordination.
I try to close my eyes when it hurts on top. I fall into your arms. I'll be safe and yourself till I come back around.
Yeah, that sounds much more like regular belt yell sound. And he adds a little bit of the distortion, and it looks really hard for him. And it's in an A flat, which is about as high as guys can usually pull chest voice up. And it just doesn't feel good doing that over and over. So I like how he's approached that earlier in the song. If I was working with him, like the number one thing I'd do is obviously the jaw, but maybe the second thing would be seeing if we can get just a little bit more turnover on that, like start doing some top-down exercises to get used to feeling a little bit thinner on that note. But we want to keep the intensity of it, and if we lose the intensity, we might as well not change it. So it sounds like he's doing a good job of mitigating that so that he can tour and perform, where rather than doing that sound for an entire song, he's just doing it for a few measures, and you can get away with that, but you will probably feel a little bit more tired at the end of the song. It's just when you do that for 45 minutes, you won't have a voice. If you do just that sound for 45 minutes, you just won't.
For now the day bleeds into nightfall. You're not here to kill me for it all. Let my guard down, then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being so in love.
It's interesting, the more I hear it, it's almost like a little wobble that you'd get from throwing on auto-tune onto a vibrato is how it sounds. I still don't like it. I wish he would open up his eyes, just because I don't know what he's thinking, and he's singing so much of this with his eyes closed. If he's feeling very intensely emotions, and those emotions are driving the need to sing this song, that's awesome. And I bet that he is. But those emotions are all in his head, and I'm not able to see any of it. And so it's easier to check out as an artist. I think it's valid that it could just be a choice that he's making, and this is how he's choosing to do it. But for me, it just falls a little bit flat if I never get to see someone's eyes when they're performing. You know, Stevie Wonder excluded from that, just because you can see everything that he's feeling the entire time. But if you have that as an option, use it. It just will make your audiences connect to you a lot better if your eyes are open when you're performing rather than singing like this. Because you can do a lot with your face or whatever and show that you're passionate and that you're feeling things. But as soon as someone sees your eyes, it just takes it to another level. And he does it some, but there's so many sections where he's just closing them completely. Of course, he starts opening right after I say that, so...
I was getting kinda used to being so in love. Let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being so in love.
I like that little moment where he pulled back at the end. Love. But it didn't get breathy like what I just did. That was a cool little moment. Yeah, good arrangement. It sounds beautiful, the music behind him. He has a killer voice. It's just that one thing kind of takes away from all of it to me, to the point that, like, I will probably never come back to this exact performance and jam out to it, which is a bummer because there's so much other good stuff going on. But I don't hear that as much in the studio version, or at least I haven't noticed it before. So just fix that, in my opinion, and aesthetically it'll be so much better. And then just using your jaw like that, when you use it for vibrato or whatever, and it's just like very, very movie, very active. If the jaw is super active, as soon as you start going toward higher notes, it's going to start clenching up. And when your jaw clenches up, that tension kind of feeds back, and you end up getting a very strained sound. With him, his intention is to sound strained at the top of his voice, but we get less consistency, we get less repeatability. It's just not good in the long term. And you can get really intense sounds without it. So I feel like it's kind of a crutch, and I would love to see what would happen if he worked on that and then found different ways to sound similar, to get the same intensity, but that the intensity is coming from his emotion rather than from this physical hurdle that he's kind of overcoming. But audiences love it. Like, audiences love for voices to sound like they're working. And so sometimes when you get it feeling really, really easy, if you're singing this style of music, you have to, like, make your face look like it's really hard for you to sing, even if it's not that hard for you to sing, or else they're like, oh, that's so blasé, because we know that all of the audiences of this kind of music say things like blasé. Anyway, he sounds great, except for the things that he doesn't sound great on. And I would love to see how he continues to develop, because I think he's pretty young too. So we have an awesome career to hopefully look forward to. This video is sponsored by my Discord and my Patreon. I'm doing a Q&A on January 4th at 2 o'clock my time, MST, which is 1 o'clock PST and 4 o'clock EST. And if you want to be a part of that and come ask me some questions, they're really fun. Just go check out my Patreon. You don't have to donate very much. We just ask for like at least $1 a month, and all of that money goes to help produce these. It goes to my editing, and it is very, very important, those contributions. So if you love my videos and you want to keep seeing more, and you want to ask me some questions on the 4th of January, go check that out. There is a link in my description. And thank you guys for sponsoring this. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Tell me how I'm wrong. Tell me what you think about Lewis's vibrato. What does it sound like to you? Do you like it aesthetically? And thank you for watching.